Across the United Kingdom, from the bustling transport hubs of its capital to the rolling green fields of its countryside, a chorus of alarm is growing louder. UK employers and business owners are issuing a stark warning to the government, calling for an urgent reversal of recent immigration policies. They argue that these new, stringent rules are not only creating immense personal hardship for thousands of skilled workers already contributing to the economy, but are now threatening the very viability of the businesses that employ them. The government's recent push to tighten immigration controls has been a central political theme, but the real-world consequences are now coming into sharp focus. This isn't merely a theoretical debate about numbers, it's a practical crisis affecting skilled workers, their employers, and the essential services the public relies on. Our first stop is the heart of the nation's capital, London, where the city's transport network, a vital artery for millions of commuters, is facing an unprecedented challenge. The Mayor of London has publicly called on the government to reconsider its new immigration rules. This plea is echoed by the TSSA Transport Union, which has warned that the policy changes could place up to 300 staff members at Transport for London TfL at risk of removal from the UK. The core of the issue lies in the government's recent announcements, which include a significant increase in the salary threshold required for visa sponsorship and the removal of certain transport roles from the skilled worker list. These changes have thrown the lives and careers of hundreds of TfL employees into a state of profound uncertainty. As the Deputy Mayor for Transport articulated to the London Assembly, these staff members are now left in limbo, stranded between their commitment to their jobs and a bureaucratic wall they cannot scale. Their employer, TfL, wishes to retain them, recognising their value, but finds its hands tied by the new regulations. In a formal letter to the UK's Migration Minister, the Deputy Mayor has called for an immediate pause on these measures to protect the affected TfL staff. The consequences of inaction are twofold. Not only do these dedicated workers face the loss of their livelihoods and the potential trauma of being forced to leave the country, the TfL itself faces the prospect of a critical staff shortage, which could directly impact its ability to operate London's transport system effectively. The human cost of this policy is devastating. The government's white paper on immigration has moved from theoretical proposal to practical implementation, with dates now set for these changes to take effect. For the individuals caught in the crossfire, the anxiety is palpable. Reports describe workers struggling to sleep at night, their futures hanging in the balance. One poignant example is that of a pregnant employee expecting to give birth soon, who now lives with the terrifying uncertainty of whether she and her newborn will be allowed to remain in the UK. They feel, in their own words, a complete betrayal of the promises made to them when they were recruited to come and work in Britain. The current immigration policies in the UK are creating significant challenges across various sectors, particularly in skilled labour market. The recent increase in the salary threshold for skilled worker roles to £38,700 has placed many essential jobs, particularly those in transport and agriculture, at risk. For instance, Transport for London TfL offers starting salaries of approximately £31,000 for its graduate schemes, which falls short of the new requirements. Even trainee station staff earning between £35,300 and £41,800 may find themselves unable to meet the new criteria. These frontline workers are vital to the functioning of essential services in London, yet the inflexibility of the new immigration rules poses a serious threat to their employment. Although employers are willing to sponsor these workers, the government's policies create insurmountable barriers, leading to a potential exodus of skilled staff. TfL is exploring alternative routes for affected employees. However, many options are simply unavailable, increasing the urgency of the situation. In rural areas, similar issues are emerging among farmers, particularly in Scotland. Farmers have expressed deep concerns about the viability of their businesses under the new skilled worker visa rules. One farmer, Rory, experienced a dire situation 3 to 4 years ago when he struggled to find local skilled workers for his dairy farm. After exhausting local recruitment options, he turned to foreign labour, sponsoring workers from the Philippines. This decision, he describes as literally life-changing, helped save his farm. Rory's success with foreign recruitment has become a model for other farmers, leading to a community of foreign workers becoming integral to the agricultural economy. Despite the importance of these workers, the government maintains that businesses should focus on training local staff. However, farmers contend that their efforts to recruit domestically have proven unsuccessful, forcing them to seek foreign labour as a last resort. The tightening of immigration rules has jeopardized this solution. Many agricultural roles have been reclassified, requiring qualifications equivalent to a degree level RQF Level 6. This change effectively closes off the skilled worker route for new arrivals in agriculture, leaving farmers in a precarious position once again. They are urgently calling for government intervention to mitigate the impact of these changes on their businesses and the UK's food production capacity. Data from a recent survey by the dairy cooperative ILR reveals that 84% of farmers received very few or zero applications from qualified local candidates when advertising job vacancies. This alarming statistic raises critical questions about the future of these multi-generational family businesses if the domestic labour market cannot meet their needs. The Association of British Dairy Farmers has confirmed that 3/4 of farmers employing foreign workers did so because they could not recruit domestically. Hiring foreign workers is not a straightforward or cost-effective solution. Rory notes that he has incurred fees exceeding £10,000 for each foreign worker, in addition to other setup costs. His workers earn competitive salaries over £40,000 and receive accommodation, making it a high-risk strategy to ensure the farm's survival. Despite these challenges, there may be potential for change. The Migration Advisory Committee MAC can recommend special visas for jobs with lower qualification requirements if evidence of labour shortages exists. The MAC has identified over 80 job roles facing shortages and suggested that the government consider temporary work visas to address these gaps. However, this remains a recommendation rather than an implemented policy, leaving farmers in a state of uncertainty. The issues faced by TfL and farmers are part of a broader systemic problem affecting various sectors, including the National Health Service (NHS), which relies significantly on the skills of international staff. Nurses and healthcare leaders have warned that the NHS could face critical shortages under the new visa rules, exacerbating the existing pressures on the healthcare system. A clear pattern emerges. Essential sectors of the UK economy are grappling with the government's aim to reduce net migration while confronting the reality of labour shortages. Businesses are not opposed to the idea of training domestic workers. They emphasise that this approach alone is insufficient to fill critical gaps. Legal migrants have become essential to maintaining the functionality of these industries. The government's goal to cut overall migration while supporting domestic skills development faces criticism for lacking a solid, effective plan to address the impending vacancies. Without a robust strategy to replace essential workers leaving the country, the risks include a severe labour crisis, struggling businesses, and a decline in vital public services. The challenge for the government is to strike a balance between controlling immigration and recognising its economic implications. The stories from TfL, Scottish Farms, and the NHS illustrate the intricate relationship between immigration policy and the economy's functioning. The question remains whether a middle ground can be achieved, a policy framework that secures borders without undermining the businesses and services critical to the UK's infrastructure. In summary, the new immigration rules are creating significant barriers for essential workers across sectors. With rising salary thresholds and reclassified job roles, businesses are struggling to maintain their workforce, leading to fears of skilled labour shortages and potential crises in service delivery. The government faces pressure to find a sustainable solution that addresses both immigration control and the economic realities of labour shortages, ensuring that vital sectors can continue to operate effectively.